So, today we're talking about how you can reach your target audience. The reason I wanted to make this one by itself is because I feel like when you're trying to sell anything, when you're an influencer, when you're an entrepreneur, when you're an artist, when you're anybody trying to do anything on social media, you need attention, but you also need attention from the right people. And that's why your target audience matters so much. Think about it. If you got all the attention in the world, but it wasn't from the people that you wanted the attention from, then did you really reach who you needed to reach? Like you might have got some of them inside of that bubble of people that you did reach, but the reason that it's important to reach the right people is because you want them to take the right actions if you have any actions in place for them. But even if you don't, you still want to be able to reach the right people. It's like if you're reaching everybody, then you're kind of not reaching anybody. And that's with anything. So I feel like reaching your target audience is really important. Is super important in something like business, where you're trying to sell something, because if you aren't getting the product across to the person that you intended to get it to, then you're wasting your time because they aren't going to buy it. If you're trying to sell apples to people who love oranges, then how will that ever work out? You kind of get what I mean? So and I feel like that's why a lot of people's pages or presence on social media in general really why it doesn't grow. Like they might struggle and they might be like, I get all this engagement and I got all of these followers, but I'm not making any money. And sometimes that's because they don't have the right product in place. But sometimes you can have the right product in place and put it in front of a lot of people. But if it ain't reaching the right people, then you're wasting your time. But I know that figuring out who your target audience is can be really frustrating and really difficult sometimes, because I know it's something that I struggle with and I still to this day don't have it exactly the way that I wanted to, but I'm doing a pretty good job at reaching who I want to reach. And you can see that in some of the other pages that I'm running. But definitely reaching your target audience is important. So I know that you're like, okay, yeah, we get it. It's important. Can you tell us how to do it? I got you. So one of the ways that you can find who your target audience is who do you want to talk to? Who do you want to be doing business with? For me, I want to reach talented people and entrepreneurs primarily who want to be using social media to do what they want to do. And shameless plug for my little saying that you can see on the page, but that really is what I want to do. And how do I do that? Well, one, I know who I want to talk to. I know who I want to engage with. I know who I want to sell my product to. I know who I want to have conversations with. Once you create that person in your head, your ideal client in your head, or your ideal follower in your head, if you're an influencer, I think that building content around that person is what's going to get you from point A to B and really accomplish the goal that you're trying to accomplish. For my other page, let's take it out of the realm of social media management and consultation. For like my anime page, I want people who like anime. I want people who look like me, act like me, talk like me, is close to me, and likes anime, to be the type of people that engage with my page. So once I know who that is and what they look like and what they do and what they're interested in, it becomes a lot easier to make content around that particular person. So I would say the first thing that you want to do when you're trying to figure out who your target audience is create an ideal person in your mind that you want to be doing business with or want them to be your follower, and create content around that. Make sure you still like it. It's not all about you, but make sure that you like it and make sure you're reaching the right person. So another thing that you would want to try to do once you know who you want to talk to and who you want to be doing business with, then it's figuring out how to actually reach them. And I think that one of the tried and true ways to do is through hashtags if you're on social, if you're on Instagram. But even if it's not Instagram, I'll go through a few of them. If it's Instagram, try hashtags and location and the new search bar. Because once you type in, let's say, rapper, and because you want to be in business with or conversing with people who like rap, then type that in a search bar and go through the hashtags and go through your location and find rappers there that you can communicate with, and then try to, start up conversation with them. So the $1.80 strategy works really well for this. Going to a hashtag in your niche, or um going to a hashtag of the people that you want to be talking to, because that's important. I think sometimes people will get that $1.80 strategy, which is you go to all of the hashtags, the 9 hashtags and 10 different niches, or forgive me, you go to the search bar, type in different hashtags, 10 of them, and then comment on the top 9 posts. But if those posts do not represent the niche that you're in, so let's say you type in bowling and you get a kangaroo on there just because they typed in bowling too, you don't have to engage in that one. I don't. I know that you're supposed to do all of them, but if it's clearly not matching up with what you're doing, don't waste your time. I mean, if you want to, go for it, but I have not seen a lot of success out of that. But let's say it's not Instagram, let's say it's Twitter. Go to your trending topics on Twitter and then find the ones that you actually can relate to and comment and talk to people in those trending topics. They got one that's just trending and they got one for you. And you can do this on LinkedIn. You can do this on TikTok. You can do this on Facebook. You can do it on just about any social media platform. This is the easiest way. To the way that you find your target audience is by thinking like your target audience. If I like basketball, I would think that I would be following hashtags about basketball and go to the places that, if you know, is the NBA finals, go to hashtag NBA finals and talk to the other basketball fans, other people in that niche who like talking about what you're talking about. Because if you're trying to reach basketball players, then and you've been figured out this is your target audience, then go to the places that they hang out at, go to the places that they talk at, go to the things that they like, post the stuff that they like. And that's when I'm gonna get into my next topic. Is once you know who your target audience is and you know where they're at and how to reach them, how do you engage with them? And that's talk, use verbiage that they understand. Like, for instance, if I'm going to be, let's take social media management here. If I go in each one of those hashtags and I start looking up social media hacks, social media tips, social media gurus, I hate that word, but social media gurus, and I go in there and I talk about the topics that they're posting about using verbiage that I know that that community understands, like SEO and hashtags and content calendars and Facebook like talking about that type of stuff to an audience that understands that verbiage, shows them that you know what you're talking about and that you not deserve, but you want to be a part of the conversation and you know how to be. So I really feel like finding your target audience is really that puzzle piece to changing the game for your social media. If you've been struggling with growing, how do you talk to the people that you want to be reaching, and are you actually reaching them? And I would take the time that if you are struggling on social media, um, revise your content. Look at it and say, does this mesh well with the people that I'm trying to reach? And do I know exactly who I want to be reaching? Because sometimes people will do what they think is going to make them a buck or do what they think is going to get them followers, but the end result is them doing something that they don't even want to be doing. So look at it, see what you want to do, know who you want to talk to, know how to reach them, and know how to talk to them once you reach them. Because for sales, everyone's a potential customer. For the influencers, everyone's a potential follower. And when you don't know who your target audience is, you don't know who to focus that attention towards, and you don't know what type of content to make, and you don't know how to talk to them. It's really important. It's essential. It's the number one thing I feel like that once you figure it out, the rest of everything else makes sense. So hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully you took some value from it. And as usual, leave me questions. Those questions help me to produce content that actually helps you guys, that actually gives you the type of feedback that you don't just listen to a podcast episode, but you actually retain some information that you can apply to your content strategy so you can get some results. So let me know what you think. Leave questions in the comments or in a voice memo on Anchor so you can be on a podcast too. Peace.